Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be taking a look at r/best of Redditor updates. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to today, please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. It is so incredibly windy outside today, like to the point I had to shut my windows. I normally don't shut my windows ever in my bedroom because I just hate the thought of like stale air in my, I don't know. I hate the thought of stale air in my bedroom. That sounds really weird, but to me, if the windows are shut, it feels like stale air, but oh my goodness. The flipping curtains were blowing out and nearly smacking me in the face while I'm sat here. Crazy. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we? So this one was reshared by Direct Caterpillar 77 and the title is My 23F Boyfriend 26M of 10 months ditched me on our date. Okay, so of course Direct Caterpillar is not the original poster. They are the person who compiled it for us all and posted it in the subreddit. The original poster is u/ditched and ignored. We do have some trigger warnings for drug use, mentions of deaths by overdose, and gaslighting. Originally posted November 4th, 2016. So, last night my boyfriend and I were meant to go on a date, but it ended up turning into a sort of group thing with mutuals. I was disappointed seeing as we've barely had alone time and haven't had a date in over 2 weeks. My boyfriend reassured me that he will still make sure part of it was a date for us and that it will be fun. So I thought, why not? And we headed off to the pub. Things were going great for the most part, but 1 hour in, I had to go to the bathroom. The pub was busy and there was a line in the girls' bathroom, so I waited and I was in and out in about 10 minutes. Well, when I left the bathroom, I couldn't see my boyfriend or our friends anywhere. So I looked for them and I still couldn't find them. I checked my phone and there were no texts from any of them, so I went to the bartender and just asked him if he saw them leave. He said they told him to let me know that they left to go to a club, but he couldn't remember which one. I assumed the club that we planned to go to. That's so crappy of the boyfriend. Like, I understand if the friends went ahead and the boyfriend waited for the OP and, you know, then they all got back together when they met up, but to just literally leave the OP, no text, no nothing, and leave a note with the bartender, a verbal note, what in the actual fuck? I would be fuming. That's really crappy. Anyway, I was real hurt by this. I was only gone 10 minutes, so they could have easily waited. And to make things worse, my boyfriend was the one who drove me there, so I either had the option to walk in the middle of the night by myself to get to the club, or call for an Uber, which I did. Good, I'm glad you didn't bloody walk. I'd be going home, to be honest, though. I'd just be like, these people are not my people, clearly. While I waited for the Uber, I shot my boyfriend a text asking him why he didn't wait for me and if they were at the club, but he didn't reply. I even sent a text to my best friend, but she didn't reply either. I called them as well, and again, neither of them answered. Anyway, it took a while for the Uber to arrive, and by this point I was tired, and my boyfriend and my best friend still hadn't answered, so I just ended up going home. I showered, cooked myself some food, and then got ready for bed. By this time, it had been around an hour since I had left the club, and my boyfriend still hadn't replied to any of my texts or answered my calls. I was getting worried that maybe something happened, so I called him again. No answer. I called my best friend. No answer. And I ended up calling 2 other people there, and again, no answer. I ended up going on Facebook and saw one of the friends I had called had uploaded photos of them all at a totally different club, not the one we'd planned to go to. I was so hurt and angry at this point. I just sent my boyfriend a text basically telling him that how horrible it was for him not even to send me a text to let me know where they went. And I told him that for future reference, not to drag me along somewhere just to ditch me by myself, and not even bother to wait for me or even call me to make sure I'm okay. That's the other thing. So they ditched the OP at midnight, right? So basically, he's left his girlfriend in the middle of the night, not telling them where they went, She could have gone all the way to this new club and been stood outside this club or in this club on her own in the middle of the night. How unsafe. He's not even cared to check if she got home safely or wherever she would have went next safely. It just shows to me that the boyfriend and the friends don't really give two shits about the OP, and I genuinely, if that was me, would be reconsidering my friendships and my relationship. At this point, it really hit me how messed up all this was. Not only did they all ditch me, they went to a different club, so if I had went to the club we originally planned to go to, I'd be looking for them all night. It also really pissed me off that I was gone for over an hour and my boyfriend wasn't worried about me at all. Wouldn't most people be worried that they left their significant other at a pub and hadn't seen them in an hour? Yeah, they would. Like, most people who are decent people would definitely be worried. If situations were reversed, I would have checked my phone and called because I would have been worried. So, I ended up going to bed, and when I woke up, my phone was flooded with texts from my boyfriend. He apologised, saying the bartender was meant to tell me where they went, and they couldn't hear the phones in the club. Bullshit. Because again, if your partner, you were expecting them to turn up because you'd left a note with the bartender to tell them where to go and they didn't turn up for a long time, you would be like, let me check my phone. I replied back to him saying how messed up it was that he left me and how thoughtless he was by not even sending a text. I told him it was ridiculous for him to rely on a bartender who was extremely busy to tell me something. He should have told me himself. He texted again telling me he is sorry, that he didn't mean to ditch me, as well as a bunch of other excuses and apologies, but honestly, they just annoyed me more. Now I'm not sure if I'm overreacting and making a big deal out of nothing. I'm also not sure if I should sort this out with my boyfriend and forgive him for this, or if I should just dump him. I'd really appreciate any advice. TLDR, my boyfriend and I were meant to go on a date, but instead went to a pub with friends where they ended up ditching me and ignored all of my calls, texts when I got worried. He sent me a bunch of texts apologising, but now I'm not sure if I should forgive him or dump him. Honestly, I'm leaning towards dump him because not only did he ditch the OP, not only did he not care one iota about OP's safety after ditching her. Let's roll it straight back to the start of this. The OP and the boyfriend were supposed to go on a date together. A date does not include all of your bloody friends at the pub. And the OP had also expressed as much, that they were, that they wanted to have a date, just them and the boyfriend. And the boyfriend had then said, I'll make sure that we have some time just for us. So from the start, the boyfriend was prioritising the friends and basically disregarding their date night and what the girlfriend might want. So yeah, it seems to me the boyfriend might just be a bit selfish, to be honest, and I am leaning towards dump him. So, relevant comments. Pam's a Bear says, you're not overreacting. What he did was unbearably rude and inconsiderate. You may want to rethink your choice of boyfriend and best friend. Yeah, exactly, because don't forget, it wasn't just the boyfriend, it was the best mate and all. Blue Cat says, man, I would dump them all. What the F? And then the OOP says, I'm seeing him tonight and giving him a chance to explain in person, but I'm pretty certain that I'm going to end the relationship. And then Blue Cat says, I don't even see what explanation could make this okay. Like, for real, if they were gone to the hospital, okay, but clubbing and abandoned you? And then Save Me Barry, 67, says, that is absolutely ridiculous behaviour. I guess maybe if things have been completely perfect until now, then maybe you guys can get past it. But more reasonable people would be done after something like that. And then the OOP says, things haven't been that perfect. I had problems with one of his female friends making very passive-aggressive comments towards me, and he would just downplay them, or get annoyed when I defended myself. He also told her something private about me that I told him in confidence, but this happened early in the relationship. Yeah, well, that was your red flag then for the rest of the relationship, mate. If it happened early in the relationship, that doesn't excuse a damn thing. I think I'm definitely done. It sucks, but I don't think I can forgive for what he did. So OOP updated then the next day. I've been texting one of my friends that was there last night, and she admitted that they all ditched me on purpose. They all decided at the pub that they wanted to do some hard drugs. and that they thought I'd kill the mood and that I'd be uncomfortable. So rather than doing the decent thing and giving me a heads up, they decided to completely ditch me and ignore me. Rather than wait to see him tonight, I called my boyfriend to see if he would admit to it, and he did. He said that they were doing me a favour, and he knows I have a bad family history with drugs. 3 family members died from overdose, which I still think is a poor excuse for what they did. Yeah, it is. They could have just been honest with me rather than basically abandoning me at the pub. I also asked him why he ignored me, and he just said that he wanted to enjoy himself without feeling guilty. He kept apologising, but I was just done at that point. I broke up with him, and safe to say I will also be ending my friendships with my so-called friends. In all honesty, I wouldn't care if they were doing drugs as long as they were safe. In fact, I would have liked to be there just so I could keep an eye on them and make sure they stayed out of trouble, but oh well. It's so disrespectful what they did and just downright nasty. And yeah, I'm glad that the OP is broken up with a boyfriend, and I'm glad that they are done with the friends as well, because yeah, you don't need people that are going to do this and put hard above you. Like, no. Anyway, down in the comments of the Best of Redditor Updates post, Farquaad stole my wig. This might be the worst group of friends I've read about on this sub. Total bastards. With friends like these, who needs an enemies? And then Pepcorn says, saved her an ocean of trouble. Haha, I see what you did there. And then stressed out hippie says, those addicts need to seek help. Oh my goodness. And we've still got a little bit of time, so I think I'll read some Am I the Borthole? So this one was posted by Background Baby 1206. Am I the Borthole for calling my wife's friend's dating technique idiotic? My M38 wife F34 had some of her friends over for dinner, and we are all talking about this and that. One of her friends, F32, starts talking about how she can't find any good men to stick around. My wife and her friends are sympathetic. We keep on talking about her and her latest dates, and she starts talking about her dating technique. This is essentially to show as little interest as possible and to ghost guys she likes, since she wants them to fight for her. Well, I wonder why she's struggling to find men who want to stick around. It's a mystery. I laugh and say that is just plain stupid. And of course she will not find any good men, since only the bad ones will actually do that. Yeah, exactly. Like, good guys who will respect you will never keep chasing you if you send out the signal that you don't want them. Exactly. What the hell? What a weird dating technique. I am on the spectrum and can have a hard time realising when people are upset, so my wife bumped me and told me to shut up. Later, after everyone left, she told me that she agreed with me, but I didn't need to be so blunt about it. Honestly, I feel like this does the friend a favour, to be quite fair. You know, I'm all for being mindful of people's feelings and what have you, but that is the most ridiculous dating technique. Like, she's never going to get anywhere doing that, honestly. A little bit of bluntness, I do think it would go a long way here. So, am I the Borthole? Edit, so this blew up more than I thought it would. LOL. I've tried to read most comments, but it's just too many. At the moment of writing, it's 1.7k, which is just wow. Most of you said I'm not the butthole, but I will admit that I could have framed it better. I am on the spectrum, but I am under the firm belief that while it might explain why I would put my foot in my mouth, it does not excuse it. I showed this post to my wife since some of the comments made me wonder some things. First being if they never told her this themselves, since it's kind of a dick move on their part. She said they have, though not as bluntly as I did. Just saying that that would never work as she thought it would, but she just keeps doing it. Apparently 3 years ago she messed up royally on her long-term relationship of 4 years. They had a fight, she went out to get some drinks to cool off, and in her anger she slept with another guy. Ah yes, that age-old thing of, I tripped and fell because I was so bad. Tripped and fell on that sausage. No, stop it. I asked her if she knew if she was really drunk when it happened. Since it does not excuse her actions, it would make her more susceptible to manipulation from bad eggs. Yeah, exactly, and that is worrying too. If that was what she's trying to say, and she's saying that she was so drunk that she'd done it by accident, that's really concerning, because that's quite scary for her to be in that position of being so drunk that someone could easily take advantage of her. So in that case, if that's what's happening, she definitely needs some help in that situation as well, just for her safety, so she doesn't get taken advantage of in a vulnerable state. According to her friend, she was not drunk. Oh, okay, never mind. Just in an awful place mentally and wanted to punish him. She then felt extremely guilty and told him. He dumped her. Oh, I am so surprised. Can't imagine why. Since then, she has had nothing but one-night stands and short-term flings from not-so-good guys. The best one lasted 4 months, but due to bad communication on her way of dating, he thought they were friends with benefits, and she thought they were a couple. So, when she found out he was sleeping with other people, she was heartbroken. She is really a sweet person, very bubbly and kind. I just think she might have some kind of trauma from a long-term ending the way it did. But that is her fault, though. She thought shagging someone else was ample punishment for an argument. Like, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. She's obviously got some form of entitlement if she thinks that people should be chasing her, you know, to prove that they want her, and if she thinks that a good way to punish your long-term partner is to go and shag someone else. I would say that's a personality flaw, personally. My wife does not know if she used this technique before that relationship or if she started after. Anyway, I hope she stops going about it that way and finds someone good. I have told my wife to tell her that I'm sorry for the way I phrased it. Also, thanks for the awards, never got those before. Anyway, down in the comments, Holdfast02 says, not the butthole. If yes means yes is to be fully accepted throughout society, then this playing hard to get nonsense needs to die. Yeah, exactly, and not only that, this playing hard to get nonsense is just going to keep her in the cycle of dating, and then it failing, and then dating, and then it failing, and obviously she's not happy about that. And you'd think by now she would have gone, maybe my technique's not working, you know? So then Totten Tran says, if anything, OP saved the wife's friend from a type of toxic positivity that would lead her into a lifetime of loneliness without even knowing why. I'm only sorry that the wife and her friends weren't the ones calling her out. They're not very good friends in my opinion. I don't know about that. I think obviously by the sounds of it, they've tried to sort of gently tell her, this probably isn't a very good idea. Because obviously they don't want to hurt their friends' feelings and be like, what the fuck are you doing, love? Like, this is ridiculous and you're stupid for trying this. It's never going to work. So they're obviously trying to save her feelings whilst like trying to steer her towards a more healthy way of dating, because they have said to her that this isn't going to work. The OP was just a lot more blunt about it. And honestly, I don't really see an issue with what OP said. I know it was blunt, but I feel that this woman is not taking the gentle advice from anyone. So maybe a bit of bluntness is what she needed. Oh, goodness me. But yeah, that's not a very good technique. If you like somebody and you're interested in them, perhaps don't play hard to get, because you're gonna screw it up, basically. Anyway, I think we've got time for one more, you know. So this one was posted by Froggy Enthusiast, and it says, am I the butthole for not telling my friend that my shampoo had green hair dye in it? Oh dear. I'm a guy with a bright green mohawk. Love it, love it, love it. I've had green hair for a while. I love green hair. I had green hair for a little while myself, but the upkeep drove me mental, so I ended up giving up on it in the end. I loved it though, I really did. I have had to use a lot of hairspray to get it to stick up, so I have to wash my hair almost every day. This makes the green fade pretty fast, so I mix green hair dye with my shampoo and conditioner to make the colour last longer. This is a common thing people with coloured hair do. Yeah, I used to mix a little bit of colour in with my conditioner when I used to have like a lot of bright colours. But yeah, the upkeep of bright colours at the moment is just not for me. I love them, I just can't be arsed. Anyways, one of my friends stayed the night at my apartment after a show we went to because she missed her bus. In the morning, she asked if she could shower. She obviously didn't have anything of hers because she hadn't planned to stay the night, so I let her use my stuff. I showed her how to use my shower and told her how to use my husband's shampoo and conditioner because mine is for my green hair. And she said, okay. I gave her a towel, left, and she took a shower. When she came out, I heard her gasp and scream, and I asked her if she was okay. She started screaming that her hair was green, and sure enough, her blonde hair had green splotches all through it. I asked her why she used my shampoo and conditioner when I told her it was for my green hair, and she said she thought I meant it was a good special shampoo, and I just wanted to keep it for myself, and that I should have specifically told her it had green dye in it. No! Because the OP had said, do not use that! It is for my green hair. So being in someone else's house, and any decent, respectful human being would go, I have been told not to use this, so I am not going to use it. More fool you, love. Now you've got splotchy green hair. Oh well. For context, the bottles are pink and opaque, but the caps are clear and are now stained green. The liquid inside is also green from the dye. I told her I thought it was obvious what I meant, but if she didn't fully understand me, she should have just respected my things enough to not use them, simply because I told her. Bingo, exactly. Now she won't talk to me and is telling all our friends that I'm an asshole for not telling her about the dye. Maybe I could have been more specific, but I don't know. I don't think I'm the butthole here. Am I the butthole? No, not at all. She was disrespectful using something you had specifically asked her not to use. Tough. Now she's reaping the consequences of that. So, down in the comments, Illustrator Slow 1614 says, not the butthole. This wasn't her grabbing the wrong bottle by mistake. She intentionally used your stuff because she thought you were gatekeeping fancy shampoo. Even though it's your right to keep your products for yourself and not to have to share with guests. She deserves the messed up hair. Precisely. And then Infamous Flan 5963 says, literally a perfect example of fuck around and find out. Anyway, I think that's all we've got time for today. If you made it all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, that is your initiation into the Covenant Void. Welcome. Leave me a comment today. Tell me your favourite video game. What is your favourite video game? If you don't play video games, just tell me your favourite way to pass the time when you just want to do something relaxing. Yeah, I think that's a good one today. And that will keep Big Al nice and pleased, won't it? Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye!